Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. For those of you that don't know me, hello, welcome. Thank you for coming in. My name is Cindy. I am at Simply Cindy. I am a psychic medium. Astrology is something I love. It's a passion of mine. Mars opposing Pluto, which is like these are heavy energies. I'm going to show you some other stuff too. But yeah, here we go. Okay, let's talk about this. Well, there's a couple aspects. So let's talk about this Pluto. Look at this. Pluto is opposing Mars, right? Then we're going to have Venus opposing Jupiter. Okay. Then we're going to have Uranus opposing Mercury. Do you see these oppositions? Do you guys remember what I say about oppositions? And we're at the table and you're the guest of honor and they're talking across the table and they're both trying to get you to the same place and they're trying to work together, but they can't because they can't hear each other. So all these oppositions are going on. Uranus is opposing Mercury, right? Taurus, Uranus and Taurus retrograde. Remember what I told you? We've already talked about the retrogrades, right? It's opposing. They're both trying to get you to this understanding to start this new. I don't even say it's brand new. I say it's the next phase to what's been shown to you already. That's what I'm seeing in this new moon. But it's like they're both trying to get you there and they're not able to do it harmoniously. So there's going to be like some back and forth. But I know I saw what I saw. But no, you didn't see what you saw. But did I really see what I saw? It's like that, right? Where um Venus is opposing Jupiter. Venus is like, I don't understand. We got to get him or her to the next phase. I'm willing to give them the luck. I'm willing to give them the things around them. And Jupiter's like, yeah, I would love to, but they haven't chosen. They haven't decided. And Venus is like, well, can't we help them out a little bit? It's in Sag. It's so positive. And Jupiter's in Gemini, who researches everything, right? So they're like, I want to give it to her. I want to give it to him, right? They're opposing. They're going to get it to you, but there's this little back and forth, right? We have the understanding of that, right? We understand these oppositions with Jupiter retrograde, talking to Venus, right? And Mercury trying to process and talk and help you understand what Scorpio, he's trying to help Taurus understand. Uranus in Taurus understand what Scorpio's talking about. Pluto opposing Mars, right? So Pluto opposing Mars. Let me say this about because I forgot about this. This Mercury opposing Uranus retrograde. Scorpio has secrets, right? You have to go deep in there to get them. But because they're opposing, so they're Scorpio, Mercury may say something that he thought Uranus knew, and this is on a global scale, and this is on a personal scale. Okay, I remember I wrote this down because I wanted to bring this out. There may be some hidden stuff that comes out quickly, all of a sudden, right? Because maybe Mercury says, hey, we're going to be working on this part and we got to kind of like be gentle. And Uranus is like, I thought you said bring it out now. And so Uranus brings it out. That's like the shock and awe because that's what Uranus does, right? There could be with this sudden revolution, sudden changes, some secrets coming out. That's Scorpio with this opposition here. Okay? So with this opposition here, there could be some things that were hidden that we didn't realize that are some of us could have realized, and you're like, yep, see, I knew it. But everybody else is like, what the hell just happened? Okay, you're going to see that on a global scale. So we're going to have some secrets come out. We've been having secrets come out. But guess what? But that was Pluto. That's Pluto over here, right? Pluto with Mars right now. But that's been Pluto. Pluto's like, everything's coming out. I'll take it away. I'm going to make it fall, whatever, right? Y'all don't want to listen. Here it goes. That's what Pluto's saying right at the end degree. This is a different one. This is deep. This is like these people or these situations or these systems or these, I don't know, companies or groups are saying they don't know about that yet. Well, guess what? We're about to. We're about to. We're about to know about that stuff. Okay? Yeah. Just get ready because it's going to happen. Okay. So let's talk about here for 16 years. Okay, Pluto's been here, and he's like, I've shown you, you've seen, we've worked, I took stuff away from you, I took situations away from you, I took people away from you, I took systems away from you, and Mars is like, I want to protect what I cherish. And Pluto's like, absolutely, you can protect what you cherish. But if you're trying to get to this new space, I need you to look at these patterns that have gotten you here. And you're going to need to release some of these patterns so that you can get to the next phase, right? Pain in my butt. Yeah, exactly. So, what patterns? We're talking about fear here. Pluto, fear. There's something that you're going to, he's playing with our fear. He's going to play on our fear, right? Remember, Pluto, fear, obsession, power. He wants you to step in your power. You've seen it. These other planets are showing you what's possible. For the last 6 months, they have been showing you what's possible. And here comes Pluto showing you what's possible, right? I mean, here comes Pluto saying, all right, what are you willing to do? And so you get obsessed, but ultimately he will play on your fear, but it's because he wants you to step into your power. Don't forget about that, right? And that's what's going on here. What patterns are you seeing that you can change? It's not going to be comfortable because Pluto plays on your fear. I'm thinking, because it's psychological, but it can be physical, but it's mostly psychological. It's almost like if you do it, you're going to look back and say, that wasn't even as bad as I thought it was going to be. That was all in my head. Because that's Pluto, right? He's going to play on your fear. Whatever this is that you are having to do, it's not as bad as you think it is, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you feel it that way. Okay? So even if I tell you it's not going to be as bad as you think it is, you still have Pluto playing on your fear and obsession. But remember what I said yesterday or the day before? I can't even remember what day. It was this week. You can only be afraid for so long before you stand up. And that's this group, right? You can only be afraid for so long. It's just like the dog in the corner that gets put in the corner and, misbehaved or, not misbehaved, that gets put in the corner and he eventually will lash out. That's basically it, because you can only have so much fear before you just like stand into your power. And that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to make you fearful. We're right at that last degree. This has got to close out, or you're missing it, or you'll come back and do it again in the next life, because we're not going to have this again, right? For some of you, this is the closeout. For others of you, you'll choose not to do it. You'll choose not to step in that, It's too fearful. I can't do it. I don't want to look at it. I know these patterns are there, but I'm just refusing. That's going to be some people. That's the reality, right? It's your choice. You get choices. Does that make sense? So, if Mars is in your first house, right? This is going to be about, because Pluto's going to be in your seventh house, relationships, right? Again, like what I said with this new moon, it's about relationships. What patterns am I seeing? What do I need to change? It's going to be uncomfortable, but this is to get me to the types of relationships that I want mirrored to me. Does that make sense to everybody? So, second house. If this is in your second house, it's about, because second house is your worth. Second house is how you earn your money. Second house is all of that, right? So what am I willing, how do I say this? What am I willing to give up? And what am I willing to preserve? Right? What am I willing to give up in the eighth house? Because I've got to connect. Because the way to my need, this is second house, people. If Mars or Cancer is in your second house, right? What am I willing to let go of or collaborate with so that I can have these contracts or have these people in my life or have these situations in my life, right? In order to move to this next thing, right? Where your thoughts go, you go. Change perception and move forward. Yeah. This is more about action than just thought. But yes, right? And then if Mars is in your third house, which means Pluto's in your ninth house, and he's playing on your fear and your power. Remember that. When I say Pluto, he's playing on your power. When I say Mars, this is the patterns that you're having to rework, redo, adjust, let go completely, right? So, third house, right? This is about what have you come to understand that is your truth that you're seeing, right? What is that? Am I seeing it correctly? Am I seeing the truth, or am I going to try to ignore it, right? Is this a pattern that I do? Where Pluto's in your ninth house, making you second guess yourself. That makes sense? Pluto's up there playing on your fear. Maybe I didn't see it. I thought I was smarter than this. I thought I knew it. How could this happen if I know better? That's the third and the ninth. Okay, that's Pluto and Mars. This is where your faith comes in. You gotta trust yourself. This is why Saturn's been like, you gotta have faith in yourself. You gotta know. It's not just the pattern recognition, but you've known when you do it this way, this comes about. When you do it this way, this comes about. So have faith in yourself. That makes sense? And then the fourth and the 10th, right? So the fourth is where we come from, our DNA, our home. Home is where the heart is. Home is where I am, right? My home. And then the 10th is work. The 10th is the reputation. The 10th is what I do out in the world, right? So what patterns do you have where Pluto is like, have you really done the work out here? Do people really see you for who you are? Have you gotten the recognition? Have you put your boundaries down? I don't know. Are you worthy enough? Did you do it? Did you do enough? Like, he's going to play on those fears. He wants you to step into your power and be like, fuck yeah, I have. Hell yeah. And I deserve to be seen, right? But you're going to have that. What am I looking at in my home? What am I looking at for myself to be able, once you get through the Pluto, to say this, 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 and this. Stand on who you are. Stand in your power. Ultimately, Pluto is asking you to stand in your power, but to do that, you are going to have to take an action, which is Mars. Does that make sense? Again, I'm seeing action and risk. Does that make sense? In your fifth house, right? Do people really love me? Do people really like me? I mean, I kind of know who I am. I think I know who I am, but they can always say no. That's the fear, right? Pluto's going to be playing on that fear. Going to your 11th house, right? Because 5th and 11th. What's the 11th house about? The groups. And groups can be groups can be 2 or 3 people, or 10 people, or 20 people, or 30 people, whatever, right? But it can be as small as 2 people. In my group, am I being recognized? Am I being seen? I thought they liked me. They say they like me, but do they like me? That's Pluto playing on that fear. Have I worked on myself? Have I stepped away from groups or those types of people and really looked at myself and really know who I am? He's going to play on that. Okay? That's why I'm talking about this, because this is really important. These are 29 degrees. These are ending. It ain't going to stay at 29 degrees forever. Pluto moves slow, but it ain't going to stay. Mars is not staying at 29 degrees for long. It is long. He is staying longer than he's usually staying. But that should tell you something. That should tell you this is your chance. Because we are not going to have this again in our lifetime. Pluto will not be at the 29 degree again in our lifetime in Capricorn. Okay? That's why I'm bringing this out. In your 6th house, right? So those of you that have the Mars in your 6th house, right? It's the, have I grown? Have I worked on myself? Have I done what I was supposed to do? That's the fear that he's going to put on you, right? Or your 12th house, that's Pluto. He wants you to become obsessed. Have I no, yes, I have. I am working out. I do meditate. I have taken classes. I know more about astrology. I know more about tarot. I know more about meditation. I know more. Like, he's playing on your fear. Okay. And he wants you to step in your power and be like, fuck yeah, I have. And I can move objects. And I can have telepathy. And, like, he wants you to be stepping in your power. Okay. But you're going to have this fear of this. Have you grown? Have you grown enough? Have you grown the right way? Am I on the right path? Did I do the right thing? Right? Remember, it's psychological that Pluto is messing with you. Okay? And then from the 7th through the 12th, it's just the opposite. It's just the opposite. So I already named the 1st and the 7th. You can go back and look. The 2nd and the 8th. And it would just be the opposite of that. Okay, does that make sense? So, there we go. That's the new moon. And that's Pluto. And that's Pluto. And that's Mars. And that's Jupiter. And that's Uranus. We hadn't even talked about Chiron. And we didn't talk about Neptune either. I'll do that at the beginning of, not the beginning, I'll do that for the November. I just kind of wanted to give you the conversation because it's coming up so quickly. And because it's so deep, Scorpio, you're going to think you're deep, and Scorpio is going to be like, I have Mercury here to help you. Go deeper. Really look. Okay? And Pluto's like, keeping an eye on you. Where can I mess with them? They're going to pass this. If they choose to work with me, this is Pluto. If they choose to work with me, I'm going to make them pass this. They're going to move to a much more abundant life that they see, a life of freedom, a life of independence, but having the community. Like all of that. That's where they're trying to get you to. That's where they're trying to get all of us to. That makes sense? And thank you guys again. For those of you that don't know, we made partner for YouTube because of you guys doing the 4,000 watch time hours. That's because of you guys. And I can go on lives Monday through Friday is what I've been doing because of you guys doing all the private readings, buying me coffee. Tammy buys me dinner. You know, Wendy buys me all kinds of stuff. Like I'm so like Kathy, like all of you guys. Um, I couldn't do this because of you. I hope that you understand how much that means to me that I can do this. Um, yeah, I am just so thankful and so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for all of you guys that watch and like and heart and come back every night. And you're so open and loving to each other, right? And you joke and your humor is just great. Like just great energy that we come into like Monday through Friday. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. I just want to I don't want to forget that. I don't want you guys to think that I have, and I won't. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.